Hi, we're at the Collier Lodge site, which is a site on the National Register of Historic Places because it has archaeology that tells about Porter County inhabitants for the last 11,000 years. And we've been doing an archaeology field school to train students in field techniques and also to learn more about the different features present at the site and to help them manage the site and help interpret it.
My name is Douglas Cozy, and just the fascinating thing about archaeology is that you learn that the land doesn't always stay the same. It always changes, just like the people that lived here once, that the people here are not the same as well. And that one day this area could have been marshland and now it's dry land. And with archaeology we can learn what the land was like back then without even seeing it physically. Just by looking at the dirt, the ground, the layers, the stratigraphy, we can just learn about a lot about history just from that alone.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I mean, definitely those red patches and the charcoal suggest like some kind of burning episode.
Yeah.
You know, I was wondering, first I thought the red patches were maybe some like degraded orange brick. Like these soft bricks sometimes degrade like that, but with the charcoal, it seems more like a burning patch. I mean, this must have predate the lodge, right? Because you couldn't have a big fire underneath your lot building.
Right.
So this is some kind of intact archaeology of something. I mean, I think it's something to do with feature 25, almost certainly. But we didn't see that in other parts of the feature. And one thing I don't know is like this, you got a really pronounced sand strip on that side, on that, you know, on the northern edge, right? I don't know whether that's the natural subsoil and we're seeing a northern edge of the feature, right? Because that's one thing that log kind of parallels that.
Yeah.
You know, or so that would mean that if that was the natural subsoil intact, this could be the northern edge of feature 25. Another option might be that feature 25 goes further north and somebody for some reason dug a trench through the middle of it and then backfilled it. Because the stuff in the wall is pretty disturbed. You can see really disturbed. I mean, there's a really great recent rodent hole that's still empty right in the middle. But the disturbed stuff seems to stop, well, it goes down in the corner, but it seems to stop, you know, about a quarter of the way up the wall in the middle part, and then it picks up again kind of near the wall, near the concrete blocks. So I don't know if that's a trench or the natural subsoil. So that's one thing when you trowel it off, we'll be able to see that more clearly maybe. As we look in the profiles. I have not looked at this profile. Yeah, interesting. So that teacup's probably like post-Civil War. It's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, looks good. Any questions? Okay, well, we'll go to it.
I mean, we pretty much just found, so we were hoping that the whole thing might be like a prehistoric pit, but we started finding definitely diagnostically historic items. And all throughout the unit, there's been a large concentration of historic stuff in the southeast corner here. So lots and lots of bricks, lots of nails. Yeah, again, way too many bricks. So a lot of the historic stuff that we were finding on our level 4 was concentrated in this section. So we were hoping like, okay, well maybe that's a historic deposit. And then over here is a prehistoric deposit. But then we found a very large piece of what's obviously a historic crock, a ceramic, that would have been underneath the sandy pit, meaning that the sandy pit has to, by definition, be historic. So, that's what we found.
Oh yeah, they definitely was burning, and there's all these fire-cracked rocks. It's almost like, it's huge though. Like you see smaller ones, you said smaller ones that were like earth ovens, where they definitely had piled up a bunch of rocks with charcoal and burned it all to make the rocks really hot. Like they're roasting something in that. But this, maybe it was a big roasting pit that they buried something to roast, like a deer carcass or a pig, and then took it out and backfilled it. I was waiting to see if we got a crushed beer can in the bottom, like from a hog roast, you know, or something. But so far, we've lucked out and we have not seen that.
Well, Terry identified several deer bones.
And we got deer bones in it, you know.
Yesterday.
And some of them were burned too.
Yeah, and some were burnt. So maybe they're roasting a deer, and that could be. And the sherds we found were like 19th century. So there could be deer roast here, late 19th century.